So, I want my morning coffee, and I have a K-cup machine and a bunch of K-cups in my room, but I kind of want some exercise, so we're going to Wawa. Oh yeah, for those of you who don't know what Wawa is, because you're not from this area, it's sort of like a 7-Eleven, but way better.
Hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that...
Be Yourself advice video I put out almost November 11th, 2014. Almost 20 hours of views, which by YouTube standards is not necessarily a lot. However, that is my highest viewed video on my channel currently, and it was a video about advice. And I think that that is the coolest part. 20 hours worth of people getting advice from me, and I wanted to, because it is almost 24 hours, which is a day worth of people watching that, I wanted to up the ante and kind of rehash that video a little bit. It was one of the first videos I did on YouTube after my first trip to VidCon. Here's a little bit of it. Look at all the hats. I had no set back then and I wanted to look kind of cool. Also, look at the quality. I recorded this on a cell phone. So if you guys have ever wondered, content is king. I recorded this on a really crappy $200 cell phone, and it's my most viewed video on YouTube. Just as a reference.
So you probably can tell I'm an outgoing, crazy, hyperactive, accentuatingly hilarious person.
It's been a while since I've watched any of my old videos. It's kind of cool because I didn't realize the quality difference between then and now. There's a lot of dead space and dead air and me going not talking a lot. Very awkward, barely at all looking at the camera. And now I can't look away because you're so beautiful, by the way. You look good today. You're welcome. And just the general demeanor I had while talking to the camera and doing a lot of stuff was so different then than it is now. What, like 14 months ago, 15 months ago? And it's crazy to think of how much I've gone through. So let me rehash that video. I want to give you guys Be Yourself advice from my point of view, end of January, beginning of February 2016. I almost forgot the year. Okay, so I only watched the first 2 minutes of that video. That video was about a 16-minute video. The reason I didn't want to watch it is because I forget what I talked about in that video, and I'd rather give you fresh advice going off of how I feel about it now before I remember what I said and just rehash it. So in case this is repetitive from what I said then, I'm sorry, but I thought this would be a better way to do it. Alright. Okay, being yourself. Why is being yourself even a video topic? Like, why should I have to tell you that you should be yourself? And I think that's one of the biggest problems with it. Everybody has insecurities. Everybody has insecurities. I have insecurities. I have a lot of insecurities. But what are insecurities? Because if you're not being yourself, there's probably a few reasons. One, you're trying to impress somebody, that girl, that boy, that dog that you really want to just like you at the party when you're trying to introvert. Ugh. Or maybe you're not being yourself because you're insecure about who you are as a person and you don't want to project that insecurity on other people and you want to be liked. Or a big problem for people with wanting to be themselves is they're afraid that their real selves, who they really are, is going to be not what they think the other person or the other thing they're not being themselves towards wants to see, so that way they can construct this identity so that I really want to be this person's friend, but they're not going to like the fact that I do this, so let me just pretend I don't do that until I'm friends with them for like 17 years, and then I can quietly slip that into the conversation at one point. Like, what? That's not going to work. And if it does work, they're not really your friends. No offense to them, but I would be very upset if 10 years later I found out the person I thought I knew wasn't the person I thought I knew. Unless he suddenly became a grammar teacher, in which case I'd very much like that. Also, sorry if I move around a lot, I get antsy and I like the different lighting setups. It makes me more comfortable. And no offense, but that's stupid and idiotic. You should be yourself. There's no reason you should assume that somebody's not gonna like you based on who you are, how you act, or what things you like. And if they do, that's alright. People are allowed to have different opinions. It's okay if you meet somebody and you're like, hey, I'm into this thing, and they're like, ugh, that thing, I don't, that's not me, I'm gonna go this way to the other people. That's cool. People are allowed to not like the same things you like and be different people and maybe not be accepting of everything that makes you you, and that's fine. There is no possible way everyone in the world is going to like you for every reason all the time, always. It's not going to happen. There are so many different types of people, different types of personalities, different types of interests, focus groups, and all that stuff. You just can't please everybody. And trying to is only going to lead you down a path of regret and disappointment. People are allowed to have different opinions. Not everybody sees the world in the same way. For instance, I see my world very much not in the way of normal people. I was a little worried I was going to fall out of the window for that shot. And this is something that I forget the original quoter, but I heard it from Louis C.K. And he said, as a comedian, he doesn't care if you like his comedy. He's going to keep doing things the way he wants to do, and eventually his audience will find him. Now you can apply that to you yourself or just life in general. If I'm into YouTube videos and being an idiot on camera and being hyperactive, and then I go hang out with people who like being an accountant, sitting in a closed cubicle, all wearing gray shirts, doing crunching numbers, I'm not going to fit in with them. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be friction, and there's going to be no reason to even try. Sidebar, no offense to accountants. I freaking love math. I just like color. And cubicles bother me. But good thing it works for you. So when I say be yourself, what I'm saying is that if you are having a problem being able to fit in or to find a group or a clique or friends or whatever, you're doing it wrong. If you try to be something you're not, you're either gonna, one, end up hanging out with people who don't really see eye to eye with you, what you like, what you enjoy, how you feel about things to begin with, or two, you're gonna end up losing that friendship anyway because you guys will eventually realize you don't see eye to eye on things, you don't get along with different types of aspects. So, you're only in the long run hurting yourself and hurting that person. Okay, now that's more specifically friendship. Let's talk about romantic necessity. Again, if you become a I need to like learn English. Okay, so let's say we're not talking about a friend. Let's say we're talking about that guy or that girl you're trying to impress. Have you heard that hashtag, waste his time 2016? I'm not even going to get into the logistics of why that's ridiculous, of a hashtag and as of a cause, but I was once dating this girl. I won't drop any names. We started dating because we were hanging out. She used to tell me about how she loved to play video games, loved to do this and that. A lot of the same things that I like to do. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. We like a lot of the same stuff. This will be awesome. We should definitely start hanging out. We ended up dating. Dated for about 3 months. And in that time, I slowly started to learn that all those things she said she liked to do, or all those things she wanted to do with me, she didn't actually like doing. She just said it because she thought it would help her chances with me. Now, I'm not trying to disparage her. I've done that before too when I was younger. As you've seen in many sitcoms, God will be like, oh, I hate animals. Then he'll see a cute girl and she'll be like, oh, I have this pet dog. But didn't I tell you I love dogs? So it's just universally across the board. What are the problems with that? For one, you are disparaging yourself because one, you're not living by your own values. You're now becoming this person that needs to fit into this cube of this idea of what you have to be with this person. That is a terrible idea. It'll only end up wasting your time, his or her time, and ultimately the relationship won't last. But I don't know why you're taking relationship advice from me. I've been single since nom. Okay, so back to the main point. Not being yourself overall for me is a feeling, and I think I said this in the original video, but it's a fear of being alone. In nature, there's this thing called camouflage. I'm sure you've heard of it. Chameleons, probably the most popular use of camouflage, use camouflage to blend into their surroundings so they don't get killed, eaten, or whatever. It's basic Darwinism, survival of the fittest. Those that can blend into their environment and cause less friction and not get killed by predators will survive the longest. Now, when you take that into social conventions, it becomes a little different. See, we don't have to worry about predators these days. We're lucky. We're at the top of the food chain, currently. At least depending on where you live. If you live in like Antarctica, you're probably not at the top of the food chain. For us, we have such a high importance as a society on social conventions and having friends and being around people and having relationships and developing communications and networking with other people, that being dismissed or pushed away or the fear of disconnecting with your community and the fear of no one wanting you is basically what our society deems as death in these days. So, in order to prevent this situation, a lot of people will be the chameleon and blend into the surroundings because it is the best way to not get killed by the predator, which in this case is being alone. So I know what you're thinking. You're like, Eric, the chameleon stayed alive. Isn't being not alone the same thing? We might have to sacrifice a little bit of ourselves to still survive or be around people. Isn't that the goal? No. Listen to the story. Why are you... Pay attention. Come on. I'm getting to the point. Let me get there. Come on. Just 1 second. Okay. So you say being this social chameleon, avoiding the fear or the actualization of being alone and losing your friends, family, and loved ones is surviving, right? I say you're looking at it the wrong way. Being alone should not be the fear. Being around people that don't understand you should be the fear. Let that sink in for a second. Okay, I have time. Okay. You shouldn't be afraid of losing people who didn't understand you to begin with. You should be afraid of being boxed into this social convention around friends and people that don't understand you, that don't see eye to eye, that you have to constantly pretend you're someone else around, to whatever level of chameleonism you would like to call it. I can tell you from personal experience, I've done it before. It's terrible. I hate being on or trying to be someone I'm not around other people, them saying something I didn't agree with, and I'm like, oh, yeah, oh no, yeah, no, you raise a good point, even though I completely disagree. And it's very internally devastating. I'm getting a little somber. Let me up it a little bit. I'm a weird person. I'm extremely weird. I love being weird. I love being... There are a lot of people that don't like that. I understand though. It's a little annoying. I hear it sometimes. But a lot of my really great friends, love it. They think I'm crazy. They think it's so much fun. They like the fact that I do YouTube videos all the time. Some of them even love to try to be in them. They like talking to me about my ideas, seeing the cool stuff. Those are the people that I have now surrounded my life with. As of like 4 years ago, I started doing this. And I can tell you emphatically, from my heart within hearts, or however that saying goes, I have never been happier. I wake up every day not double thinking myself, judging myself. You become less self-critical. You should absolutely, take it from me, be more afraid of being around people that you don't click with than being alone at all. I hope this updated version of the Be Yourself advice helped. I also hope that it didn't take away from anything I said in the first video. I don't know, I should probably go watch it now, right? If this video helped you, throw something down in the comments, talk to me. If you have some problems with this situation, my Twitter DMs are always open. Feel free to message me, throw them in the comments if you want a community discussion. I'm always going to be here for you guys because you guys are here for me. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have viewers. So if you guys ever need something, feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up because I always forget to ask for that. So I appreciate you guys that do it without asking, but I'm going to go ahead and say, give me a thumbs up, please. I'll wait. I got a minute. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because why wouldn't you want more of this? And it doesn't have to make sense. I'm sort of worried that this shot's not going to go as well as I think. That's the ground, by the way.